Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy V, the 4-Job Fiesta. Last episode, we started clearing out this floating castle. Now it's time for us to finish it off and head into the void. So we're going to head up this staircase where the maiden ran away. And we'll run into her a little bit later. But we got some other things to take care of first. So notice how in this one, we came in from the left there. Remember, things are flipped on the left and the right. So when we go down the passageway on the left, we'll go over to the right to get to a staircase. There's a new enemy, the bodyguard enemy. So, nothing too special about him. What's it called? I'm trying to use this slash ability that you get. It's the last ability that the samurai gets. It's basically an instant death attack. Just I'll try it out here, just to show it off. Basically what it does is, if it hits, it's kind of like Odin's Zangetsu attack. It'll hit an enemy and instantly defeat them. So it seems to have less of a less chance to be effective than the Zangetsu, but you know, it's good for some enemies, for some weaker enemies. So we'll see it in action eventually. So right over this way. Remember, on the other side of the by the save point, we saw there was a treasure chest. This is going to get us that treasure chest. It's going to be a man-eater knife. Most knives can be used by every class, but this knife can only be used by the dancer class, or you know, the freelancer class if they the freelancer class, because freelancers can use any weapon. But yeah, so it does double damage against humanoid targets, and there's quite a few humanoid targets here. You got the ninjas, the bodyguards, but overall, not that important. So now if we try to leave here, we get pulled back to this throne. Try to do it again, we'll get pulled back to the throne, and that'll bring up this cutscene here. You can't run away. Hey, it's that maiden. You took my kiss of death. Yep, she's really one of the bosses in disguise. Now, we can make this battle an easier. I'll play with you. The King of Dimension Castle, Halicarnossus will. Now, you could start this battle off by turning all your characters into frogs. And you might think, well, why would I want to do that? Well, because the first thing this character is going to do is, because she kissed us, it's going to turn us all into frogs. It's sort of like the opposite of the maiden kiss. Unfortunately, Cara and Angels did not get turned back into people with the Toad spell. I was hoping that Cara can turn them all back into, but it missed getting her and Angels. But that's okay. We'll take care of Halicarnossus. So it's spelled a little differently in the cutscene, but compared to here. But otherwise, she's not too hard. So like I said, the main thing is like just make it, you know, prepare for that Toad. So if you don't have a character with you know, the Toad spell that can hit everybody, or you're out of Maiden's Kisses, this could be a little bit of a tough battle, but since we were prepared, we don't have to worry about it, so. With proper preparations, not too hard at all. We got a few critical hits there, that helped a lot. And Halicarnossus is finished. And now we just have one more boss to take care of. This boss, coming up, if you have the core rings, they're going to be really, really good. Basically going to shut down most of this boss's offense. The boss kind of has some changes in forms. And at one of the changes, he's susceptible to instant death. Even when he's charging for his Giga Flare attack. We read about that in the book in the library. It says, like, a wizard's observation, when charging for Giga Flare, like, defenses drop. But we'll point that out when we get to the boss. So in the meantime, I just want to scroll around here. I got some enemies I want to fight here. Last few enemies that went for our bestiary. The first one is the Fury up there. He looks like kind of an alien. But nothing, he uses a lot of deadly magic attacks. Hey, there we got the slash attack that actually worked. So, yeah, you want to charm him. if you hit him with magic, he will counter back with magic, like Meteor spell. So kind of difficult. You just don't want to try to hit him with magic. Heal ourselves up here because we have another one last enemy we want to hit here. This is the enemy is the Iron Giant. It was that super boss in Final Fantasy II. He gives the most experience out of all the enemies in the game. If you have they can run into groups of 1 or 2. They are susceptible to instant death. So if you have Summoner with Odin, a good way to fight these guys is just summon Odin. And Odin usually cuts them in half. So sometimes Odin won't, but majority of the time he will slice them up. So unlike the Iron Giant in Final Fantasy II, who was weak to lightning and ice, this guy is only weak to water. So magic ain't gonna be very, very effective against him. He hits like a truck. So hopefully, you know, if you have elf capes on to dodge attacks, or the samurai's ability to dodge attacks. I'm just using the haste shoes right now because they tend to make, you know, strong offense. It's a good defense. But if you don't have the haste shoes, you want to equip and stuff that makes you dodge. You can sometimes use a rocket punch, which confuses your character. He didn't do it that time, so. But he's a good place to like level up. So I want to heal ourselves up here because we have this boss coming up. We also want to give ourselves all the core rings. That'll mitigate 2 of his attacks. He's gonna look like a big bull, but he's so you think he'd be like a really strong, like powerful guy, but he's actually more like a magic caster. So the core rings will definitely help out against this guy. So let's just you can also do wall rings. Would help against 2 of his attacks. But you'll take damage from once. This is it. Ahead here lies the space with the void seal, and I won't let you enter. So he has a bunch of multi-targeting attacks. This atomic ray, if we have the core rings, won't damage us at all. And his other attack here, the tidal wave, will actually heal us. If we have the wall rings, the tidal wave would hurt us, but the atomic ray would bounce back and hit him. And his other big attack, the Giga Flare, would bounce back and hit him. So now, you see, sometimes he'll charge. You can tell him when he's charging. An easy way to hit him is charging is if you have if you have like your cursor on him before you select. Sometimes the cursor will disappear. If the cursor disappears, he's changing into a charging mode. And when he changes into a charging mode, his level changes to level 30. So if you have like level 5 death spell, you can hit him with level 5 death. And at that time too, when he's charging, he can also be hit with instant death from Odin, or like a death spell from you know, like a doom spell, or like a doom mix the chemist makes. But we don't really have to worry about that. If you just be on the offense in him, he shouldn't get to a point where he charges. So I have Faris doing the power song to make my knights a little bit stronger. Look at that holy damage, because he's weak to holy. Lenna's taking him out really easily there, so doing max damage. And with that, Twin Titania is down, and we get access to the Void. Once you get to the Void, enemies in the Void don't give any experience, but they do give a lot of ability points. So it's a good place to max out jobs, not a good place to max out levels. So it's your choice if you want to get more levels while building up jobs. You just want to, you know, probably head out and fight those Iron Giants if you want to. Another good place I heard to level is back in the 3rd Elemental Dungeon under the sea. You can fight all those undead monsters with the Requiem song, and they tend to appear in large groups, so you can get a lot of experience fighting for them. So here's Behemoth, King Behemoth. They like to counterattacks when you hit them. You don't want to hit them with magic. They also counter, like the Furies, magic. You can hit with magic with some strong spells. Meteo. So yeah, don't hit them with magic. That's really important. I normally wouldn't do that. but sometimes they appear with a Gore Chimera enemy, and Gore Chimeras are very easy to be charmed with the Charm Bard spell. If you charm though, then the Gore Chimera will be charmed and will use multi-hit magic attacks, and that'll hit the Behemoth, and the Behemoth will counter you even though it's getting hit by magic from its friend, its other encounter, the Gore Chimera. So I would not recommend using the Charm spell if the King Behemoth comes with a Gore Chimera, even though you want to be using the Charm spell when you fight any of the Gore Chimeras, because they're very susceptible to it, and a lot of the spells that they use damage them and don't bring them out of the Charm status. One of their spells they use is one that takes off like 1/4 of their hit points, so it's pretty nice. There's our friend Gilgamesh, our enemy. He turns friend here. So as long as you fought him in Exdeath's castle and he got teleported here, then we can encounter him here again. It's just a scripted fight. The only reason you kind of want to fight, the only reason to really kind of fight this guy is, like I said, I'm filling out the full bestiary, and if you have a thief, you can steal another piece of the Genji gear off of him. So I believe you get the, I think it's the Genji shield. I don't know, but it's one of the Genji equipments here. You'll actually get 2 pieces of Genji equipment from him, because he'll appear a little bit later on. He'll come back. So even though he's gonna say that, yeah, he's gonna take off. So yeah, he doesn't recognize us. He's not very bright. But after a few turns, he's gonna say, "Oh, wait a minute, you're angels." And we're basically gonna tell him how we got to the collective dimension, and he's like, "Oh, there's a warp? Cool, I'm gonna take it." And he leaves. Yeah, if we want to leave the collective dimension, all we have to do is step back to that one place where we were at. If you have the spells, the time magic spell, Exit, if you use it, it'll take you. It won't take you out of the void. It'll take you out of the entire collective dimension. So you don't want to use the Exit spell and think, "Oh, I'm just going to get out of the void and I'll be back in that floating castle." It doesn't work that way. It takes you all the way back out to the real world. So. But anyway, Gilgamesh, he's like, "Oh, I'm about to cry. How'd I get here? How'd you get here?" We explain it to him, and he's like, "Oh, cool." And then he's going to run off. I see, now I can get home. How'd you like to escape? No, we can't do that. We have to fight Exdeath. If we escape now, Exdeath will just take over the world, so... Oh yeah, that's right. We can't let that happen. Well, if we live, let's meet again. I know we will. And we will meet, not much long after this, so that time we'll be friends. Never mind. And he becomes an ally. He also becomes, I guess he got so well received in this game that he kind of became like a reoccurring character in future Final Fantasies. I know he appears in Final Fantasy VIII, and I think I saw like a replay where he's in 12 as well. He's one of the Espers in that. I don't know, like I said, I only played up to 8. But I believe he's a summon in some of the other games, so... Now the new enemy here, the Belphegor. These guys can be charmed as well. I'm having flashbacks to, they're a really tough enemy in Final Fantasy IV, the After Years. They're in the challenge dungeon in Theodore's challenge dungeon. And when you first get to that challenge dungeon, you're kind of under-leveled. These guys are really, really tough. They hurt you really, really bad. But they're blue in that game. But they're still like Golgos and fly around, so... But as you can see, there's no experience points listed for these guys because they don't give experience. They just give a lot of AP though. So we're finally going to be able to master some of our jobs. By the time we're done farming all the enemies in here, we'll have mastered most of the jobs with everybody. So, get some treasure. A lot of pinwheels here. Pinwheels are the best throwing stars for the ninjas. You can buy them in Mirage Town, but they're really, really expensive. We have no use for them because, of course, we don't have ninjas. So we have a lot of uses for money. So that guild toss ability is going to be really, really good for the final boss. So we'll probably make a trip out of here. Just to sell all this good gear that we picked up here in the Cleft of Dimension and in the Void. So here's those Gore Chimeras that can appear with the King Behemoth. Like I said, if they do appear with the King Behemoth, you don't want to use this charm spell on them. Because as you see, like most of the time when they're charmed, they will use a magic attack. And the magic attack will hit the King Behemoth, and then the King Behemoth will counterattack with. So the Blaze is, a weak spell. You don't want to see him do that. They use another type of flame spell. That's the good one. It takes off like 2,500. No, that's not it. But as you can see, a lot of the times, a lot of the attacks that they're using are pretty weak, and they're not turning them, removing the charm spell from them. So we just lock them down with charm, and just let them fight each other, fight themselves. So there's the flame spell, that takes off 2,500, 1/4 of their total hit points, so. And that does not remove them from the charm either, just like the blaze spell. So if you get lucky, they'll just keep hitting themselves with the flame spell. But... So we finish him off there. Get some good AP there, 22. So. Now I'm not going to go all the way here. In order to get to, there's a save point, you have to go through 3 areas. Now the areas are all short like this. But at the end of the 3rd area, there's a save point, but it's blocked similar to the Apocalypse boss. It's blocked by the final, by a final like minion. So we won't be able to. I'm not gonna fight that because it's a pretty long battle. There's some cutscenes that happen in between it. So or during the battle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just gonna head back to the floating castle and save my game there. Angel's finally mastered Samurai, so now all he has to do is master the Red Mage, but working on Cara's working on that right now, so shift our jobs around a little bit here. Excalibur's pretty good here, so once Cara masters the Red Mage, then Angels can finish it up. Lenna will finish mastering everything else first, though. She only has to finish that Samurai, so. And jobs get pretty fast here. Like I said, with all the AP that we're getting. I'm gonna step back and warp. I'm gonna head back to the floating castle. Hopefully we'll run into some new enemies along the way here, so. That was another battle. That was a battle with the King Behemoth and a Gore Chimera. Remember, don't want to charm the Gore Chimera with the King Behemoth. There's another new enemy, the Crystal Dragon. They're probably one of the tougher enemies here because they spam that breath attack. If you're a thief, you could steal dragon spears off of this guy. If you get 8 dragon spears, and then have the dragoons with the dual wield from the ninja, the next optional super boss, Shin Ryu, is really easy because all you have to do is just have all your dragoons jump, and they'll jump and they'll do, each of their jumps will do double damage because that's the way that jump works, and they'll even do more damage because the dragon spear is strong, it does extra damage against dragons, and Shin Ryu is the god of dragons, so there'll be double damage with an effective weapon twice, because they'll have a spear in each hand. Basically, so they'll hit each of them will hit for 9,999, and they'll be able to defeat them in 1 round. But you only really have that if you have the dragoon and the ninja, both the ninja mastered for the dual wield, and you have a dragoon in your party. If you don't have a thief in your party, you could try to get lucky with the thief knife. And the knife that we got, because that sometimes randomly steals when you make a successful physical attack. But if you're doing a non-job Fiesta and you want to take out Shin Ryu really easily, that's a good way to go. So we have a little shortcut here. Unfortunately, it can only be really used once. We press the button, this door opens. And unlike other shortcuts where sometimes it will remain open, if we try to go back this way now, the door recloses itself. So yeah, we can't use that shortcut. It's only for returning to the save point. You can't use it to skip going around this to the right to get up to the throne room, to the void. But that's where we'll be heading back to in the next episode. We'll be heading back into the void to find the remaining monsters in there, get that save point, and then prepare ourselves for Shinryu. We're almost at the end of the game here, so thanks for following along. Appreciate it. Have a good one. See you around. Bye.